So, introducing the players in purple team, we have Eladir and Klops representing Team Pag from the team, and on the green team on the South Pole, we have Zankar and Kilikiwiju's going vehicles and naval first, representing Team Ice in the second game of the best of three of the semi-finals of Bad Bot Buddies. My name is WPMarshall, and I'm joined by TheWrongCat.
Very good evening to you all once again. Now, looking at the strategies employed here, we can see a naval factory straight off the bat from each of the two teams, and a bot factory on the land, clearly going in front of a vehicle factory, in fact, for the green team. Clearly looking to make sure they secure their advantage within their own little sphere of influence up at the north of the island, whereas the purple team going for the more aggressive expansion, and a combat fabricator there going for some nice early Trico as well.
Yeah, getting that Trico will mean that they'll be able to get more stuff building in the early stage of the game. So if they're exploiting that Trico, that's going to be fantastic for them. What I'm interested to see is whether they're going to make a play for a naval factory maybe in this little enclave here. You can't build the factory until you're about that far out. I tried that. So to get there you kind of need to do a little bit of comm walking, or maybe get an air fabricator out or whatever. But it's still a viable strategy, because then you have naval factories on this side of the planet and the other side of the planet.
Now, see, that's only a defensible location, of course, if you have control of the island. If you start to lose control of your bit of the island, then actually that doesn't become very well defended at all.
You do notice, though, that because the water just has so much, I suppose, surface area insofar as how much coastline there is that you can shell from, the water is more important than the island at this point. I think it's easier to move off the island into the water if you're forced to than it is to move on, you know, because the island is just so easily contestable from the water. The essential stuff is going to be getting that naval control. And yeah, the pings there on the Barracudas, not
Piranhas.
the Barracudas, Piranhas.
The docks of the sea.
The docks of the sea. Getting a good bit of scouting off, actually. They can see, can they see that? They can see a naval factory going out. They don't necessarily see the commander. The Hummingbird does see, though. But these Piranhas in force are actually really good at taking down expanding naval fabricators.
Exactly. Hence the docks of the sea. And the wiggle on these things is adorable if you ever get to see them use it. The little bubbles. I'm not sure. They look like little jet skis.
The little bubbles.
The bubbles. Although that said, I'm actually running graphics mods, which might encourage more bubbliness than is otherwise available in the stock clients.
Oh, you're so bubbly this evening,
God. Moving swiftly onwards, we see that the green early attention to vehicles is leading them to try and form a beachhead, and because you've got this long, narrow island here, it's very much what I would call sort of a World War I style type warfare. We have front lines forming, and you have to fight back and forward, going around your. Let's try that sentence again. Going around your opponents is not an option, because once they've got control over a certain percentage of that, you have to push past them, not around them.
Yeah.
But they are at the moment missing out on Trico. They do not have a single bot factory on this island. They are relying solely on vehicles. Which does put them at a slight disadvantage, because, as you say, the purples are taking advantage of Trico in large numbers, and that is putting them ahead at the moment in terms of their production capability until that runs out.
Yeah, contesting this island at this point is an interesting idea simply because of those 4 mechs in the middle, but I think getting up T2 Naval is going to be both teams' priorities. Possibly some T2 bots we may see, but definitely the T2 Naval. In fact, it's almost finished in green's side. So green sailing into an advantage there.
Oh no. Please, not the nautical puns. Anything but the nautical puns.
Would you like me to change tack?
I might just leave. I might go to bed. I'm upset.
It's alright, it's anchored in your memory.
Bye.
No, don't go. There's
We
a
now
commander
see a
threatened
commander
by
being
Barracudas.
chased by Oh my god. Okay, But okay, the Barracudas are moving in now. The commander is building a torpedo launcher very hastily indeed. The Piranhas are shooting at it, trying to kill it before it gets built, finishing it off. Torpedoes are now a major threat for this commander. They can take out
lot of
large
damage.
chunks of his health. They've also been threatened. The Uber Cannon sweeps in there, takes out the remaining chunk. They've got more to come. He's lost nearly half of his health completely unnecessarily. Those Piranhas need to move in pretty quick before he completes his torpedo defense, though.
Yeah, I mean, focusing down commanders with torpedoes is such a viable strategy because there isn't stuff that can really block them. And defensive naval is kind of an interesting position to be in because you just have to try and kill the opposing force as fast as possible, not necessarily just ensure that you do, but you need to do it as fast and efficiently as possible. And just having so many torpedoes from different angles is the way to do that, and that's why you tend to see all of these different torpedo launchers being built in one place, because it just means that you can get those kills quickly and easily. So here we can see the Barracudas pushing in, though. I'm not sure if that was you pinging somewhere else.
I was pinging the fact that the purple team have put their commander right at the front line, trying to fight off turrets, as you do with your commander.
Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it?
I'm not quite sure what their plan is here. They're just trying to stop the green advance. As I said to you before, by establishing that front line and then just grinding forward, that is the style of play which green are trying to go for by going so heavily on the vehicles on this front line. The commander now being targeted by a pelter, trying to run away before he loses too much more health. So actually, although the green team lost a load of commander health unnecessarily out at sea, purple likewise trading their commander for very little reward in the middle of that island. On the other secondary island, actually, I've just noticed we've had some expansion here from the purple team. They are being harassed from the sea by an orca. He's not going to last too much longer. Bombers are making very short work of him indeed. But having these three metal just sat here more or less uncontested, I say uncontested, actually there are now some drifters meandering over to come and take those out and deal with them. I don't really know what the purple's game is on the land here, because they've got a force there, but it's not really doing very much.
I think they're there just in case. I think their main focus is trying to get the naval back. They need to sort out their T2 naval. I mean, it's like I said earlier, the land isn't everything. The land is easily run-away-fromable.
Words.
I don't know what that was. But it's easily run-away-fromable. And the naval, again, is the main thing. So as long as they can just keep green kind of thinking that there's something going on in the land, then green is going to be diverting at least a bit of their attention there, at least a bit of their resource expenditure there. And that's going to keep maybe green at bay from fully investing in naval, which is kind of where purple wants to be right now. They're trying to get up their T2 naval factory, but the fabricators have been killed, and it's decaying, and that's a win. That is a big win for green right there.
That's a huge win. I mean, speaking of investment, Marshall, have you looked at the economies tab recently?
I have. It's
significant.
horrific.
That is very significant, and not only that, but green have successfully completed their tier 2 advancement, and they are now expanding their tier 2 economy, which is going to further push them into the lead. Purple are, I think, pretty weak on the naval game as it happens. Klops and Eladir. That said, I mean, Eladir is the man behind the battleship mod. He should be fairly au fait with his naval game, but I'm just not seeing it. I mean, really, what have they got? They've only got that little beachhead. They're completely hemmed in.
Purple need to get the metal in their base, at least first, but they need to get their T2. The T2 is going to be that essential thing. It's interesting that we don't really see a big play in the air games either. I mean, purple have some air force, but green aren't really bothering to answer it. I mean, I suppose they could try and snipe green's comm if they get it out enough, but there is some flak beginning to go up, so they do need to be careful there. Ping's going off.
It's just that purple are just hemmed in on all sides, and I just don't. They've already called
the GGs.
They've realised it themselves. They've got no map control, and their opponents are just hemming them in, preventing them from expanding, destroying expansions when they do lay them down. Yeah, that's actually a very decisive win, which means that we now go into our third best of 3, as each team has won one each.